Hello. Thank you for taking this time with me today to learn more about the Science to Wellbeing, Values to Wellbeing Coach Certification Program. I'm Heidi Glunz. I'm one of the owners of Science to Wellbeing, as well as a values coach and the instructor for our Values to Wellbeing Coach Certification Program. First, I'd like to just say a few words about Science to Wellbeing. We are a coaching and personal development company dedicated to developing programs that help people live better lives. We base all of our programs on scientific research and on brain science and neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. Our Values to Wellbeing program is an online certificate program, and it teaches you this carefully designed framework for uncovering people's values and then helping them make conscious choices around this newfound knowledge about their values. Now, if you're not a coach, let me assure you, you're still in the right place. This coaching framework can be used in a multitude of settings to help people uncover their values, learn to gain fulfillment in those values, and really all you need is the bravery to learn something new about yourself and the drive to help others become their best selves. So welcome, and thank you again for taking the time to view this informational webinar. Now, I'd like to share some materials with you so that you can take screenshots if you need, you can reach out to us, whatever you need, I want you to be able to get from our time together today. So hopefully you're seeing my screen. We are the Values Coaching for Sustained Wellbeing. That is our goal. We really want to increase people's well-being and have them live more fulfilled lives. So please, if you're interested in our program, we would love to have you in our next cohort. So I just wanted to introduce our Science to Wellbeing team. First, we have Laurie Kozart. She is our Master Certified Coach and our supervising coach. She is also one of the owners of Science to Wellbeing, and she joins us throughout the program to help us hone our coaching skills, help us be able to use the framework in the best possible way as we go through the materials. On the other side there, we have Steve Kozart. He's a professional certified coach and a values coach and also an owner. He's also our resident tech guru. So anything about the learning platform or the technologies that we use, he is our best point of contact. And then there's me, Heidi Glunz. I'm a professional certified coach through the International Coach Federation, just like Steve. And I'm also a values coach, as well as a trainer for the program. I do all of the instruction when we get into the meat of the materials around this framework that we're going to introduce to you today. I'm also an owner, as I mentioned before. I believe so deeply in this company because I had such a wonderful experience going through the materials myself and learning more about myself. And so I just was very eager to be able to share that with the rest of the world and wanted to jump into this business and really help get the word out there to everyone. All right, so that's a little bit about the people behind the program. Obviously, our website is there if you want to reach out via our website, and I will give you our contact information before I leave today also. We will be posting this online, and I know that it's recorded, but we would love for you to leave more about yourself in the comments. If there's something that really appealed to you, or if you would like to tell us a little bit more about yourself and why you decided to tune into this video, we would love to hear from you. So go ahead, wherever you're watching this, drop a comment, and we will respond to those comments when we see them. All right, Values Coaching for Sustained Wellbeing. We currently run 2 cohorts per year, and they are interactive class sessions delivered via Zoom. So they are live, but you get to do it from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to travel anywhere. You can just do this from your own space and feel comfortable in that way. The recordings of that, we do record the sessions, and those recordings are available on a learning platform. We try to integrate everything into our learning platform. So any handouts, any homework assignments or pre-work assignments or anything that you need, we deliver to you on an electronic platform that you get a login for, and you're able to see those materials. It also allows you to join our Values to Wellbeing community, where we still have the participants from past cohorts available to answer questions. You can always go back in there after we finish the course. So it's a really great platform to be able to continue connection as well as connect during our time together in the cohort. So to thank you for taking the time to view this video, we are offering you $100 off your enrollment, and I'll get to that a little bit later in our presentation, how you go about doing that. If for some reason you have a larger group of folks that you want to get together, we can also talk to you about discounts for group enrollment. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us if that would be something that interests you. And Laurie Kozart will be happy to do a discovery call with you and talk to you. In fact, any one of us would be happy to talk to you and be able to really get any of your questions answered about our program that are lingering after this webinar. So Laurie's contact information is there on the screen. All of our email addresses are our first name at Science2Wellbeing. So if you're looking for me, you just put in Heidi at Science2Wellbeing, and we will reach out to you and make sure that you get whatever it is that you need. Any questions that you have at all, we're happy to answer. All right, so for the rest of our time together through this recorded webinar, I'd like to discuss what is Values to Wellbeing, and then we'll get into how Values to Wellbeing can benefit you. And then we'll talk about how you might go about enrolling if you would like to be part of our next cohort. So what is Values to Wellbeing? Well, it's a research-based coaching program that's designed to help people uncover their value system and then consciously choose how to use those values throughout their life to create sustained fulfillment and happiness. Now, this program was developed by Dr. Senka Holzer. She is a Ph.D. and a life coach. She actually works at the Medical University of Graz in Austria and is a heart researcher, a cardiology researcher. So she brings her scientific approach to everything that we've done. She's also a life coach, and she recognized during her coaching process that people had a very hard time not only talking about their values, but really understanding what their values are. So she designed this coaching program to help people suss out those values. And because of the research study that she did around the development of this program, she was actually awarded the 2015 Harvard Medical School Research Award. So her ideas here were to blend the research on the health effects stress has on our bodies and the role that that plays with our values. How do our values actually introduce stress into our bodies? Of course, being a cardiology researcher, she really wants to understand the long-term impact that this can have on your body. And sort of a, shall we say, lucky side effect of this research study, it was actually demonstrated how coaching, not only around values, but coaching itself can actually help reduce stress on a client and lead to lasting, fulfilling change. So there were a lot of really great things that came out of this research study as we developed the program. We really wanted to measure people's life satisfaction. We also in the studies made sure that we measured markers like blood pressure and things of that nature, heart rate, so we could see the different impacts of stress on the body over the long period of time. And these folks still get in touch with Dr. Holzer and report increases in life satisfaction continuing even after the program. So this is just such an amazing program, an amazing framework, really based in science. We've done as much as we can to really show that this can have a major impact on your life in a meaningful, positive way. So our premise. Now, we all know that we need to align our choices with our values. I think that that's been around long enough. There's been enough people talking about it that we kind of understand that, yeah, that seems pretty intuitive. I should align my choices with my values. But if it was that easy, why are we still not all at our best? I mean, we all sort of intuitively know this. And so our premise is that that's actually because you have two different sets of values, and they differ in their ability to bring that long-lasting satisfaction. So that is why we created this program, to help you and to help you help others be able to choose the values that serve you best, that really can lead to that best long-term life satisfaction. So the theory is that, again, we have these two sets of values. Our core values are like our psychological DNA. If I'm quoting Lady Gaga, we were just born this way. They're inherent to us, and they are just core and built into the people that we are, and we showed up that way when we were born, and they're just part of us. Our acquired values, we actually acquire over time from different sources. We get them from our family, we get them from our culture, we even might get them from the organizations we join, the places that we work or the places that we volunteer. We can acquire values from lots of different places throughout our life. Now, sometimes these core and acquired values can come together and create a beautiful synergy, and we would never even notice that one is acquired or one is core. And then sometimes they actually become rivals of one another. And unless you're actively aware of this potential rivalry, these external forces of your acquired values, these external influences, can push you more and more into that acquired value. The research we did actually showed that prioritizing these acquired values ahead of your core values led to lower psychological well-being, lower self-reporting of fulfillment and satisfaction in your life. And that's because they are not innate and core to you. They are acquired, and they are showing up in your life as the shoulds and the guilt and the shame that you have around not acting out of these values. So before I go any further, I do want to pause and just say, no values are bad. In our world, we do not believe that any values are actually bad. We actually believe that all values are some seed of truth, and they all have some beauty to them, some innate beauty to them. The only problem with acquiring a value is when it doesn't reflect what deeply matters to you. When it becomes this sort of temporary, superficial matter, and it doesn't really resonate with you deep down to your core, or it's just a quick hit of gratification, a quick hit of dopamine in your brain, that spike of satisfaction, and then it's followed by a big letdown. And unless we're really aware, we can easily let our decisions, our priorities, and our habits get dominated by these acquired values, because again, they show up as our shoulds. They become this sort of loud and almost obnoxious mind chatter that goes on over and over, telling us I should do this and I should do that, and this is the secret to a happy life, and you're doing it all wrong. But when you invest too heavily in these acquired values, you start to become physically and emotionally exhausted. You're always on this sort of hamster wheel searching for meaning and purpose. You're hungry for this meaning and this purpose, and you just can't seem to find it because it's coming from a place that's not innate to you. So our coaching program steps, it's really designed to teach you as a coach, or if you're in some other area where you're trying to support people, you will learn how to walk a client through becoming conscious of their values. It may surprise you to know that we act out of values that we are unconscious of. And sometimes they're driving our behaviors and our decisions, and we're not even aware of that. So we really want to uncover these values, bring those unconscious values that are dictating how we operate in our life up to the surface so we can be conscious of those values. That's the first step. Then we start to examine each one of these values, and not just the value itself, not just the word, but your specific definition of that value. And just so you know, not all people who value honesty have the same definition of honesty. They can vary dramatically from person to person. So it's really important to understand your specific definition and the belief that you have about that value, or the beliefs that you innately attach to those values. So we really do some work examining those beliefs and your specific definitions. And then the next step is to choose which values you want to keep. Or do you want to modify some of these acquired values that aren't serving you as well as they could? Do you want to come up with some sort of set point or scale them so that you only work on goals toward those acquired values to a certain point where you still feel that fulfillment, and then maybe you stop? And what are those triggers to know when that point is reached, when it's time to say, I need to come back to my core value, or I need to have another goal it's rooted in my core values to really help me feel fulfilled. But the idea here isn't that you just throw the babies out with the bathwater. You really want to decide for yourself, make conscious choices of what you want to do with these specific values. Now, to get the best learning experience, we want everyone to go through as both a coach and a client. This is very, very deep work, and we want you to at least have the experience of having gone through it yourself so that you're able to relate to your client and be there for them as they go through this process and really have a deep understanding of what they might be going through. Again, I'll say it one more time. This is deep work. And in fact, a lot of times we do see that people's life satisfaction drops after they start to uncover their value system, because you may have spent years acting out of these values, not recognizing what's going on. And so that can be a bit of a shock to the system, where you're trying to sort of work through this and understand yourself better. But if you can process through that, we always see that there might be this dip after the first experience where you start to understand your values. But as you start to examine and make those conscious choices, you come right up and you far exceed the life satisfaction that you had before. But I always like to be as honest about our process as possible. This is a really intense experience, and we want you to be able to grow very quickly and be able to grow in your practice as well to help clients. So our program sort of lays out in 4 modules. Our first module is measuring your rhetoric reality gap. So we aren't even to the concept of core and acquired values just yet. Right now, what we want to uncover is what you say your values are versus how you show up in the world. What's driving your behaviors, and how are you actually operating out in the real world? So we're really going to try to take multiple perspectives. We have over 7 thought experiments where you go through and look at what's driving you forward from different angles and in different perspectives, such as measuring how you spend your time and your energy. What other values do others see in you? How do you respond to questions about who you admire and what's going on in your life? What are your goals? So we really want to take a holistic look at all of the values that might be showing up for you. Once we sort of have these values that are kind of showing up in the world, we also want you to state your values. And then we get to compare. Are your stated values and what's driving your day-to-day behaviors, are they the same? If not, you may have a rhetoric reality gap. And what do we want to do about that? Our next module, we dive into understanding these values you've uncovered much more deeply. So this is where we start to measure, are these core values or are these acquired values? And how do we determine which ones are really going to bring us long-lasting satisfaction? In our third module, we look at these acquired values. Once you've sort of identified and measured the values and their ability to bring you satisfaction, now we want to really look at those low scoring values, those ones that aren't really fulfilling you, and help you make conscious choices about what you want to do with that value. Because a lot of times when we act out of our values, we expect that we're going to feel so great afterward. And sure, again, we might get that little short hit of dopamine, but then it's followed by an immediate letdown. So we really want to help you be able to make choices around those values. And then we have a fourth module. And in this fourth module, the whole goal is to help you take this information you've gained out into your life. How do you sustain this for the long term for yourself? And how do you take it into your relationships? Because once you've uncovered this, people get so excited about this, they want to tell everyone. And some people aren't ready yet for what you're about to tell them. So we really want to give you some tools and techniques to be able to share this out into your relationships without sort of clobbering people over the head with your newfound self-awareness. And that's what our fourth module is all about. So what are the benefits? Well, you get to uncover your values and learn ways to increase your own life satisfaction and fulfillment. And I cannot undersell that enough, or oversell that enough, I should say. There's a reason it's first. To me, this is the best part of the program. You get to understand yourself in a whole new way. And even if you've done a lot of self-work, a lot of self-development work, you will gain some new insights, some new approach or perspective that you hadn't had before going through this program. You also get a framework with over 20 values-based exercises that you can immediately start to incorporate into your work with clients. And this will help you distinguish your practice from other coaches or therapists or others out there trying to help people. These exercises are so wonderful because you can use them inside this beautiful framework we've put together, or you can pull out the pieces. You can use exercises one at a time with different clients, and then just immediately start to incorporate this kind of thinking and this focus around values into your practice. Having this framework and these exercises will also help you increase your confidence and your coaching competency. And that inherently raises your revenue because you feel more secure in what you're doing with your clients. You also become a Values2WellBeing coach, and you get access to our proprietary resources. And we are also in the process of developing a Find a Coach program. I'll talk a little bit more about that toward the end of the recording here, but I want you to understand that we are always here to help you. So if you are looking to take this into organizations or work with groups, we are always here to support you once you've been through the program, because we really want you to succeed. We want you to have the support you need and take this message out into the world. So I already said this a little bit, but you can use this program with individuals, you can use it in groups, or you can use it in teams. There are so many ways to use this material to get people thinking in terms of values, acting in accordance with their values. And it's actually really powerful, not just on an individual setting, but in a group setting, you get so many dynamics and extra perspectives. And with teams, you want their values to be somewhat in line, and you want to be able to understand each other so you can be a high impact team. And so this really gives you so many tools that can make that happen for people. We also provide you with a safe learning environment to practice your coaching skills. And this is regardless of your coaching experience. We want you to feel safe and be able to grow and be able to use these materials to support you and others. And we really want you to feel safe to practice and learn, be in a safe learning environment. And last but certainly not least, the Values to Wellbeing program is accredited by the International Coach Federation, which means for taking this program, you can receive up to 41 CCEUs. And that is enough to meet your required continuing education training for renewal of your credential. So if you're an ICF coach, this is a really wonderful thing to add as well. So I just want to give you a sample of our course schedule. We do tend to meet on Saturdays, and the times and the sort of pattern of meeting varies throughout the course. We start out with introduction, and then we go through the science and the research behind this. Dr. Holzer joins us to talk about the science, and then our Master Certified Coach actually comes and gives us a lesson on ethics. This is required because we are ICF accredited. And then we get into the meat of the program. And when we get into the meat of the program, we do space these out. We meet every 2 weeks. And this is because we want you to have time to practice in between. And I'll go into that a little bit more here in a second, but we really wanted to give you enough time to be able to do some things in between when we meet. We'll do that for modules 1, 2, and 3. And then module 4, again, is that exercises to take this into the long term. So we don't necessarily have as long of a day that day. And then our final project. Really, this is your chance to come back to us and tell us how you're going to use this program in your life, how you're going to use it in your practice. What are you going to do with this newfound knowledge? And it gives us a chance to celebrate you, which is, of course, we want you to feel like you've accomplished such a big thing, because you have. Again, this is such deep work, and this is going to grow you personally and professionally in a way that I can't really even describe to you. So we really want to celebrate that with you. So what's included? Well, again, all of our classes are remote, so they are delivered via Zoom, and they're highly interactive. This isn't just a lecture. We really want you to participate. We'll do coaching demonstrations, and then there will be practice in class. All of the materials presented are either recorded or available in print form or some other form on our learning platform, so you can always go back and look at those materials that we provide. And this will be exciting as well as demanding, but I promise you it will be worth it. Modules 1, 2, and 3 are mandatory, and this is because it includes time for you to work with your partner. You will both coach and be coached on that day to practice the exercises and the skills that we just reviewed during the lecture. We want to ingrain that knowledge right away. And we want, again, give you that safe environment to practice while we're there to answer any questions if you need them. There may still be some time required outside of the course for reflection. There's a few videos that we have you watch, and you may need to get together with your coaching partner. Just because we give you time, this is a lot of deep work, and you may feel like you want to meet again outside of the coaching class to be able to work with your partner and get that full experience of going through the material. So please understand that is an expectation, that you're available to work with your partner outside of class in between our sessions. So again, I just thought I would pause and let you have a chance to tell me some information. Now, I know this is recorded, but again, if you would like to use a comment to tell us how you see yourself using this program, we would love to hear your ideas based on what you know so far about how you might go about using this program in your practice or even in your daily life. So feel free to put a comment in wherever this video is posted so that we can answer you and address any questions. And again, just hear from you. We're so excited to be sharing this information with everyone. Couple last things coming soon. Actually, Dr. Holzer's book was released yesterday as of when I recorded this video. So I guess it's already here. You can get it on Amazon. It's called Be You, The Science of Becoming the Self You Were Born to Be. And this really does introduce these concepts of core and acquired values to a huge audience, right? This is written for everyone, not just coaches or those looking to help other people, but it's really accessible and introduces these concepts to a wide variety of people who are looking for self-development. Along with that book, we are in the process of creating a self-paced program that, again, is meant for people looking for personal development. This isn't a coaching program. It's really out there meant for people looking for self-development, and they kind of get to self-coach. They get to learn about the concepts. They get to try a few more exercises that kind of opens up their minds to these concepts. Now, it's designed so that if they decide they want a more immersive and expansive experience being coached through this material, because we all know that having that coach there to ask those questions, point out those direct communications and observations that really can, move that needle forward ever more. We really want the program to feed into having a coach available. So once you become a Values2WellBeing certified coach, you can be part of the process where if a client is looking for a values coach, we can reach out to you and see if it's a good fit for you. We really want to be able to have a find a coach program attached to the self-paced program so people don't have to go through this alone, because we know it's so much more powerful when they use a coach. All right, if you're interested in joining us for our next cohort, you can submit your registration at beavaluescoach.com. Now, you don't have to register before January 12th. You can register at any time. It just depends on when the cohort is starting next. You can use the code LESS100 to go ahead and get $100 off for your registration. And if you have any questions, again, you're welcome to reach out to any of us. We have Laurie's email here, Laurie@Science2WellBeing.com, or it's Heidi@Science2WellBeing.com, or even Steve@Science2WellBeing.com. We are always here to answer any questions that you have. Again, you can register at beavaluescoach.com. So I just want to wrap up our time together here and share a few thoughts about what our graduates are saying. Lois said, "Thanks for the great info you gave in class. I loved all the science, the group, the place, the insights. It was just so great. Hope to see you again. And tell you how I'm applying and implementing core versus acquired values." Janet says, "The process we did is the best I've ever experienced with values. The mosaic of personal traits, EQ, values, and the universal emotions of being human is just so powerful." And Ray says, "Your training was powerful and it gave me a lot to think about, ponder, and act on. I look forward to working with you and connecting with you in the future." We really do want to create a community of coaches that are there for each other and support each other and really understand how important the use of values in their coaching is. So if you would like to join us, again, you can go to beavaluescoach.com and register for any of our cohorts. If you still have questions, again, reach out to us at Science2WellBeing.com. And here's one last chance for you to take a screenshot of our email addresses. Again, I cannot stress enough how much I love our cohorts. Our coaches are always wonderful. The people that come to our cohorts are just amazing, wonderful people. And we always have such a great experience. I learned so much from you all. And I just feel very grateful that I get to share this wonderful material and this life-changing work out there in the world with you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I know how valuable your time is, and I really am grateful that you could join us and watch this video. Again, we are always here for you if you have any questions. Thank you and have a fabulous day.